always remember. Remember that one day when you guys were coming home and they bet you $20 who was going to get home
I
first?
was going to talk to you about that.
Okay, I'll wait.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll let you start, China. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Hello and welcome to Teacher's Pet Farewell Tour. I am China A, and I'm joined today by the reason behind why kids started calling me a teacher's pet in the first place. A teacher who I still refer to as one of my favorite teachers of all time, my 4th and 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Miller.
Hi, China.
Hello.
I miss you.
I miss you too. I miss this
Well,
classroom.
you were my favorite. You are my favorite. I still follow you everywhere. It is what it is.
Yeah. You did come to my concert like very recently.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I missed your last one because I got sick.
That's alright. That wasn't as good as the last one.
Well, and there'll be more. I always say.
Yeah.
There's going to be many more. So, you know, yeah.
I'm a music major now again, so there's going to be more.
Well, the last time I saw you, you told me I was going to see it.
Yeah.
When you get home.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, yep, you invite me there and I will be there.
Hopefully.
Get me a ticket. Oh, not hopefully. It's a done deal. I have full faith your destiny is going to be made for you.
Oh.
It was funny when I went to one of your bands in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, your mom invites me, so I go. She has my shirt for me, and she saves my seat because they're there at the crack of dawn, and I come at, like, you know, in the evening when it shows up.
When it's actually our turn to go.
Yes, and she'd be waving me down, Miss Miller over here.
Yeah.
And then I had no idea what you were playing, and I would be, what do I look for? Because there's so many kids out there, hundreds of kids.
You'll see her.
No, she tells me, oh, she's all in white.
Mm.
All in white? Isn't everybody in white? No, she's all in white. Okay. I'm like, the one that's going up on that high ladder in front of everybody directly. She goes, yeah, you didn't say that. Neither did your mom. They're so humble. You guys were so humble. And you were like nonchalantly, she's all in white.
Honestly, I don't know if it's like being humble. She really enjoyed the surprise on people's
Oh, it worked.
faces. Yeah.
I had my shirt on. I'm all proud. I'm waiting with my camera for China. I'm like, oh my God.
I remember walking onto the field and hearing a different voice than I usually do, and it was your husband's
David's
voice.
got a loud voice.
Yeah, it's usually a friend's dad or my mom or someone else, and I usually try to ignore them. But I looked up and I was like,
there we are, China.
I think my mom was like, I remember the look on your face. You just like lit up because I got so excited.
I had no idea. And then I told David, yell their name because you can't hear me in the crowd. But him?
Yeah. I think you also like lost your voice that week, so it was up to him.
It was whispering.
It was up to him.
I know.
Yeah, and I remember my job was to debrief with the band after, but I ditched all of that to go hang out with you guys.
I remember.
Yeah.
I love that we get our little one-on-one time after, just to say hi. I know you're very busy and you have a lot of people that are, you're responsible for. I'm like, and your mom's.
I was like, there's another drum major. It's
no,
fine.
I started like, what?
Yeah, the band director was like, where did China go? And I'm like hanging out with you guys.
You did it again when it was at school one time, and I was like, I kept telling you, China, I think they're looking for you. They're like, where is?
They don't need me.
And she's over here talking story, and I'm like, China, I don't want you to get in trouble. China, go. You know me, I want to follow the rules until I don't.
Yeah.
And here's China. No, I got people to see, places to go.
Yeah, I have my 4th grade teachers here. I'm not gonna.
I do feel special when you invite me. I love it. I think it's always a good thing. Like, I want to support, and
Everyone was out. Like, people were like asking who that was when I was talking to you, and I was like, oh, it's my 4th grade teacher. And they're like, I don't even remember my 4th grade teacher's name. I'm like,
you either do or you
don't,
right?
I'm just built different.
You either do or you don't.
I'm like, that's why they call me the teacher's pet, guys.
Shh, I used to tell you, don't repeat that.
Yeah, but thank you for doing this with me. I know this isn't like your thing.
Of course, my pleasure.
This is the last interview I have until I have to edit all the episodes and finally upload them. So yeah, it's saving the best for last.
Oh my goodness, I don't know about that, but we'll give it a
It's gonna be a fun one. My mom's gonna like this one. So my
your
one
mom
viewer
means a lot
will like
to
it.
me. Your grandma. It's like I know your whole family. I've been to your house. We've had dinner.
Yeah, you used to come to my birthday parties.
I did right down the street here. Yes, when
you gave me a $20 gift card to Chili's.
Oh my God, you remember all
that?
that?
I have it.
Oh,
it's in my room.
Why didn't you spend it?
We just never did Chili's, and I was like, I'm not gonna spend it. This is from Mrs. Miller.
Oh my God, you probably never used your homework passes either.
No.
See how you are?
I should have, because I remember having to pull one of those tickets because I
Oh,
forgot to
those
do one.
evil tickets.
I got two in all of my time here. One for a signature on my.
Both for me?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, that's painful.
And I remember because I used to
You
do
had to
inventory.
record
Yeah, I
the
had to record the
tickets.
tickets every
Yeah.
Thursday morning. I would come early with my mom, and I would record the
I
tickets.
needed a trustworthy person.
Yeah, because I never
be
had them.
honest.
I never had tickets, and my friends knew that they couldn't ask me to like, hey, just scratch
Throw it
out.
away. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
none of my friends ever had tickets either, so
It was a good class.
yeah. So yeah, but I got one, and I remember like my heart plummeting. I was like, I didn't get a signature on my homework. No.
And she's gonna look the other way because it's
Yeah.
my first time. You know
No.
what? It's just communication.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they pull many in a day.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a lot.
Oh, it was cleared today
Oh.
at 3 o'clock, and there's already 4 in the last 2 minutes of the day. See?
We should probably get onto the
Okay, I told you we ramble. I told you. Okay, stay on task, Tonya.
Oh, okay. So this is a question that I give every teacher.
Okay.
What is your teaching philosophy? Like, what do you want from your students, and what do you want for them?
Well, first of all, I think that learning is definitely a lifelong process. Like, it's never going to end, it's never stopping. You have to change with it. You know, my job, my role, which I take very seriously, is I'm hoping to inspire them, not just that here's my lesson. No matter how much I think it's great and how much time I worked on it, it's not about that. It's what they take from that, apply it to their own, and then move on. It's how you know, the kids' world changes so quickly these days that I want to make them able to adjust, able to handle the struggles and challenges that come their way, and not come across something and just feel like they're stuck. I feel like as a teacher, you want to make learning fun. You want to make it where it's not just one style. I want to incorporate all their learning styles because just the way I learn doesn't mean that's the way you learn or they learn. So I feel like, you know, part of teaching is how do you do it? Like, how are you going to make that material come alive for that child? How are you going to inspire them? How are you going to make them become a lifelong learner? I think, you know, it's not about fourth grade. It's not about my curriculum right here and then because that can change. It's how you take it, how you move on. The kids need to navigate, and these are the skills, the tools we need to give them to navigate their changing world. Gosh, philosophy. You know, I wrote so much about my philosophy when I was in school. Seems like forever ago. And, you know, when you write it at the time, it's just like it's an assignment.
Yeah.
And as a teacher, they're like, what's your philosophy? What my philosophy is. And then you start to just sort of regurgitate it.
Yeah.
It's not until you're in the trenches and you start teaching the kids that you realize, oh, this is what I meant when I wrote that. This is what I mean by, you know, having them take the organization skills, take how do you study skills, take how you treat each other skills. Like, it's a whole gambit. And the treating thing nowadays is so big. I feel like, you know, you're building a whole person, a well-rounded person, and you're not just teaching them math. They're never going to remember my math. I also like the relationships. I think relationships are important to build, like our relationships. I think it's huge that when a child leaves you after 9 months, it wasn't just a name in a third grade room, a fourth grade room. 9 months.
Yeah.
That's all I was lucky. I had you for 18.
That's true.
But you want it to be where we have a relationship in the sense that if you ever have a question or a problem, even at this level, come to me. Tell me in your own words what it is. Or, you know, in class when you're teaching, and, you know, it's not always going to be, you know, roses, obviously, but they know they're safe. They're safe to be them. I think that's important. Because I think kids aren't safe sometimes even at their own home. And they need that. They need to know that nothing's going to hurt them here. You can say whatever you want and it's okay. It's okay. So I think my philosophy is pretty general in the sense that it's not, sometimes it's got all the high words in there, the big words in there. Yeah, I'm just very like, this is how it is. I'm able to tell my kids what I want them to learn, and what my job is and how I take my role, and I think it's understandable to them. I know a lot of teachers, after you teach your lesson, you got to assess somehow. It's not all about the test, whether they get it right or wrong. I feel like it's how did you get to that answer? Can you explain it in your own words? Can you retell it to me? I don't want you to regurgitate it. I mean, I could do that myself. You're teaching a writing lesson, like you said, your geodoodles made you a writer because guess what? You knew how to paraphrase and write one paragraph well every single week, just one.
Yeah. It was like pulling teeth, but I did it.
Yeah. But did it ever get easier for you?
Yeah, eventually,
Yeah, it got to the point where, I know how to do this. And then my thought in that is, which is why I started it many years ago, is if you can write one, you can write 5 when you get to, 5th grade. When you get to 8th grade and they want 10, no big deal. The structure and the framework is there. It's just elaborating on it. You get to high school, same thing. You're going to be writing for the rest of your life. You're going to write for your boss. It looks different.
Yeah.
But you know what it is. You do it all the time. Proposals, contracts, even right. Yeah, your dissertation.
Oh God.
We're going there. Lots of writing. And yes, it's more intense. It's a lot more, but when you have a good foundation, and I think that's why my philosophy has to do with setting a good foundation. You can't put another block on it if it's sturdy. Because it's just going to be shaking. It's going to fall off no matter how many times you try. So, it used to be a time when I did open houses and back to school nights. I would always say, this is my philosophy. Parents had no clue what I was talking about. So instead, I decided to just teach it to the kids as the year went on, inspire them as the year went on. Teach them what it's like to take the tools they're learning now, move it on to 5th grade, move it on to 6th grade. What's the thing that works for you? And I think that's more what I do now than just stating it as a fact in my, opening dialogue on back to school night. Yeah, because that's just a dog and pony show. And it's the kids you need to really inspire.
I used to really enjoy back to school night. Just because I think I was just a big nerd.
You just...
just enjoyed. My mom, look at this one gave me an A.
That one's me.
Yeah, that one's me.
And I did this.
Yeah.
So we just had open house. This is why it looks like this. But the kids in here, they...
I remember those.
See?
Harry Potter.
And I've sent 9 things home already. You should have seen it. It was hanging from the ceilings.
I really miss projects.
Do you?
You don't get to do that.
Can you come back and tell my kids that?
Heck yeah.
They're like another...
I'll do it.
Do you remember the Heritage Project?
Yes.
Did I do that?
Yes. I remember I pointed at a picture of a cave and said, this is where my grandparents live.
Oh my God.
Not true. It was in Palawan, and that's where my grandparents live. But I was like, my mom still makes fun of me for that.
She came, right?
Yeah.
What was your food item?
It's toron.
Oh
it was a banana in like a egg roll wrapper. Yeah. And my mom and my dad were here. And I think the class had me count in Tagalog.
You had to teach them something in your language. Yes.
And I
wore
couldn't
your custom
remember.
clothing if you had it.
Yep.
We still do that because I want kids to be proud of who they are. I feel like, especially in today's world, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's scary to be anything than, what they think. Yeah. So for me, it's like, no, we're going to embrace this. That's my biggest project. I love it. And we haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
But I remember when I did you on my combo, I think only 4th grade did it. And I had to come up with the state one.
Yes.
So 5th grade could participate because you guys were like, are we just going to watch you all eat?
Yeah. I mean, we were fine with just eating the food.
Without doing the project? Yeah. How was that going to work?
Yeah. It is also crazy how much of 4th grade I still do remember.
I know. When you walked in here?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
I don't know why. I think it's one of the first times I remember school.
Really?
Because I think after I left the Philippines, there was just a lot of like confusion and like relearning and learning the new language and learning a new country.
It's
of
a
like
culture.
Yeah.
And
And I think 4th grade was the first time I really felt settled. And I like, you know this, like I really loved your class, and I was really excited to be in school all the time, and it was the first time I ever had a leadership role. And
Did you not
well,
think you could?
I didn't. I mean, I knew I was bossy, but
But you were quiet. See,
yeah.
that's just the thing. You weren't bossy. I felt like when I chose you, I chose you because you were assertive. And I think there's a whole, those are two different things. I always, if somebody does you wrong, I want you to use your words and speak up. Like, don't let them walk over you. Don't let them treat you that way. Speak up. And I felt like you had it. I could see you did it when I wasn't looking, but to actually put you in that spot to say, okay, now I'm not just realizing it, but I'm going to label it now.
And I
You're
took
a
that
leader.
job so seriously.
Oh, I know.
And I took
But the kids respected you.
Yeah. I don't, well,
You were fair.
I guess.
You never had the grumblings, the complaints, but she did. It was never like that. I felt like, when you have your peers respect, that's a whole nother level to like, because then they listen.
Yeah.
And they listen because you're doing it right. You're the role model. Because if you didn't do it right, but you were telling them to do it, they'd be like, sure.
Just the do as I say, not as I do sort of people.
Yeah.
I don't really like to operate that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've had a lot of teachers who operate that way, and I don't always
do as
enjoy.
I say, not as I do. That's not right. When you are doing exactly what you say you're doing, and you mean what you say, and you do what you say, the kids have a different respect for that because they see it as,
I think everyone also knew I was on top of, homework and grades.
Oh, yeah.
And I think my lowest grade in your class was penmanship. Because my handwriting was horrible. It's still pretty bad. Hence, this is typed.
Thank goodness, because this is where we are. I don't write anything either.
Yeah.
Everything is typed.
Yeah, my handwriting
but
is
that's
atrocious.
part of the evolution of changing things. That's why when I say you have to prepare the kids for their changing world, that's part of it. You notice you look around, you don't see a whole lot of writing.
Yeah, and you told me like they type really quickly.
Really fast.
I did not
They're
I
a
still
hunt
don't
and
type.
peck. But they can hunt and peck really fast.
Yeah.
So what they do is they read their paper and they know what the whole line is, and then they just go.
Yeah.
They're super savvy with the computer. I have one little kid. He actually sits right here. Whenever I have a computer issue with any kid, or even me, Nathaniel,
he's the one.
he comes up, I got it, Ms. Miller. I got it. Okay, thank you. And they're smarter than us when it comes to that, for sure.
Yeah. I'm afraid of the day of like going to my kid and be like, how do you do this? And
They'll
then
be
just
patient
like,
and show you.
I don't know about that.
Mom.
I was never the patient one. I was
me neither.
Yeah. I'm like, Mom, it's just an email. Just write it.
You know what's funny, though? You say you're not patient, but you are. Because I remember when we did group work. And mind you, the 4th grade was not a combo class. So there was high, medium, and low. The combo was a combo. They were mostly, upper, average, higher.
Yes.
When you did group work, when you did group work, it wasn't, you can tell that, they want to work with you. They want to choose you. And sometimes you think, oh, well, because they got all the answers, right? But when it's a give and take, then you're on an equal playing field. You know what I mean? And they love that.
I don't think I remember, like, people, I don't remember, like, the good things people told about me in elementary school. I remember, like, thinking, I'm really smart, guys. Like,
You
I
just
remember
thought
that.
it for yourself.
Yeah, I remember thinking it about myself. I'm like, I don't know if anyone else agrees, but I'll...
China didn't need any kind of affirmation.
Yeah,
she told it to herself every night.
I looked at myself every morning and just...
Self-confidence.
Yeah, I think I always kind of had that
way.
with school. Yeah.
But that confidence that you built up from childhood carries along with you. All you're doing is building upon it.
That's true.
And then you being comfortable here at 4th. Were you here the whole since kindergarten?
No, 1st grade.
1st grade, so most of it, you only missed 1 year.
Yep. Yeah, and I still know people who I knew in 1st grade, and we're all about to graduate college now because we're a class of 2025 for college.
2025.
Yeah. Except I sort of took a break in the middle.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
I feel
I really I think it was the best decision.
I feel like that's a part of the maturity when you know when you have to take that. What do they call it? It's a gap or it's
a gap year.
A gap year.
Yeah.
I feel like more kids are doing it. They're finding themselves or taking a moment to breathe.
Getting a real job.
And not just do like what you think you're supposed to do because here's your line and you're supposed to just step one step in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other. And I feel like that gap year for many people is important. Get out there, find a job, live a little.
I have a few friends who got stuck with a major and had to keep going, or didn't have to, but felt like
But you
they
feel
had to.
stuck
Yeah.
because you've done so many
Yeah.
classes, you're
Yeah.
at the bitter end, and your parents are pressuring you, like,
Yeah.
you know how much this costs? You're going to finish with that degree.
Mhm.
And then they get out and find a job that doesn't make them happy. You know, you want to find a job where it doesn't feel like it. If you ever find a job that doesn't feel like a job, then you did the right thing for yourself.
Is that this for you?
I do feel that. And I always said to myself, if I ever feel like if I go home exhausted every day, tired, no time for my family, my husband, cranky, every day's a negative day. If you ask me how my day was, today, and I just kind of, did a little huff, then it was time to get out. I feel like I'm no good to any of my kids in that mindset. Because what do they go home with? It's okay to have a bad day. I tell my kids, we all going to have that. It's okay. But every day can't be bad. So yeah, I love what I do. I've always loved it. It's been many decades since 31 years, China. 31.
And it's been, let's see, I'm 22 now.
And I had you when you were 9, turning 10.
I was a little older than everyone else. So I was
12.
I was 10.
12 years
12
ago?
years?
12 years
A dozen.
ago. And it's like
Wow.
when we pick it up, it's
Yeah.
like it's
That's
not a day's
crazy.
gone by, right?
Yeah, I've just gotten taller. Or
It's more
stopped
it's
after a while.
comfortable, it's
Yeah.
easy to talk about. You can tell when you're comfortable because nothing strains. It's like old times, you just pick it up. Like nothing's changed,
Yeah. Was there
12 years.
do you have a teacher do you have a Mrs. Miller?
My Mrs. Miller was 3rd grade. Parochial school. That's why I teach my class the way I do, parochial school. Sister Regina. I'll never forget her. She was so strict. Oh my God. I was so scared of her. My brother and my sister had her, and they told me horrible stories. And then it was my turn. And you know how when you already have your head filled with all these stories, you think, oh my God, it's all true. What am I going to do? Because my siblings were better behaved and smarter than me. So I was always, they called me Little Bernadette forever. My sister's name was Bernadette. So when I went into any class, oh, you're Little Bernadette.
Yeah.
You know how that makes you feel?
Nope, because
Yeah.
I've always been by myself.
China, yeah, no, I was called Little Bernadette, and then you would get the, oh, you're not quite like her.
There's
Or
always there's already an expectation.
And it's always a negative
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
I thought, oh, so I knew all about her because they filled me in. But you know what? All the stories I heard, there were some that were true in the fact that she was super strict. She had high expectations. But I really felt like she was firm yet gentle, which is kind of hard to explain because you think, how can you be firm and gentle at the same time? But you honestly could be. Sometimes you needed to be told like the way it was.
Oh,
Like-
I've had a few moments like that
Right?
with you.
No coddling.
Yeah.
Just tell it like it is.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, just to straighten it up.
Still keeps me up at night.
Oh no. What was that one time?
It wasn't.
What
I don't
was
think
it?
I don't think it was you. It was 5th grade. I still remember what I was wearing.
What?
But we were outside. We were like touring the class.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And-
And
and
she
you-
had the nerve to come to me and tell me you threw something over the balcony. Wasn't
And
that what it was?
I accidentally kicked like a Jolly Rancher.
That was
off
already
of
on the
balcony.
ground.
And I was like, I didn't mean. I don't know what
And
to
she
do.
came up to me expecting to like be in my face about it so that I would turn around and do a consequence or discipline. And you know, it didn't make her happy when I said, okay, I'll take care of it.
And then you walked me outside. We talked
Had
about
a little
it.
talk.
I cried because it was like one
Because
of
you know, it
the
wasn't
first.
the truth.
Yeah, it was one of the first times I
You
got
ever got.
like talking to, not just by you but by
Somebody who told on you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
I
was
was
a
like,
tattletale.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
It was me, and I did do it, but it was an accident. And I was like,
Well, that's just it. She didn't have the whole story.
yeah.
And she didn't even bother to ask or
Yeah.
get information.
And she was like, who threw that? And I just went, I think it was me. I think it was me.
See?
At least I was honest
That's
about
just
it.
it. You know you weren't the problem when you
Yeah.
admitted to it. Most kids who
Yeah.
would have done it on purpose would have been like, him, her,
Yeah.
them, who.
And I remember my friend Harmony was standing right next to me.
Harmony.
Yeah, and she was like, but you didn't do anything. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like I should fess up, even though
Was
I didn't.
I mad at you? Or did I just question you?
You were like, so what happened?
Yeah.
And I was like, I accidentally kicked it. And I was already crying.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, you know what to do next time. And I was like, throw it in the trash.
And then that was the end. See,
Yeah.
I'm about just having the kid come up with what should have happened,
Yeah.
and then let's move on.
Yeah.
She just, I think she knew that. You know how when you get that class that they put up on a pedestal, which is what they did that year.
Oh, was it us?
Yeah, you guys caused the issues. Yeah, because then it feels like every time that there's a reason to make a mention of a negative, they're going to make a mention of a negative because, you know, when I had the combo last year, it was the same thing.
Oh.
My kids never got recognized for anything, and it was because they were told it's because you're good at it all. So they literally overlook them for every contest, every award, I don't care what it was. They would never apply it to my kids because that's the same reason I felt back then. You're too good, so we're not going to acknowledge it. I'm like, why wouldn't you acknowledge that? Because they're good? Like, it gets me angry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm disappointed in their choices.
I don't remember feeling like that. I remember having an extra recess.
So they were for good reasons. Yeah, because they reward you for lining up or cleaning your table. You know how you got to get a reward for everything. But my kids never do. Even this kid, this group that I have this year is a tough group. I'm not going to lie. But when I compare them, and you know me, China, I'm really strict. I expect a certain, I have expectations for their behavior. I have expectations of how you talk to each other. I don't expect you to use, like words like shut up. That's not okay with me. You got to find different ways to say it. I just have a certain way. I won't let you to speak. And my kids never get recognized, even though I think it's just, they call it, you're Miller's kids.
I remember coming in from 3rd grade and not knowing who your next teacher is going to be, not being able to choose, which was always like a little scary. But I remember the teachers that were like known to be the easy teachers, and I remember
Me?
No, and I remember the strict teachers. It wasn't you though, but I don't think I ever heard your name until I got into the class, which was weird.
What did you hear?
Nothing. Like everyone was pretty neutral about you when I like told people that I got into your class or I was in your class, but I don't remember anyone ever being like, "Oh, she's gonna be really strict," because I think there was a stricter teacher at that point, which I don't remember the name of.
I don't think any of them. So I do have the reputation of being strict, high expectations. She does have homework.
Yeah.
I do require you, to finish on time, to be responsible. So those are the rumors, which they're not rumors, they're the truth. But you know me, I'm not the screamer, the yeller. In fact, I'm the opposite. If I'm upset, I get super quiet. But you're going to have to read my lips because I'm not going to yell at you. Like, I feel like that's that whole respect thing. I'm going to listen to you if you have a grievance, and you should listen to me when you're not doing something right. And I feel like when you lay the groundwork like that, all the rules, it doesn't matter anymore what the rules are. Because you respect each other. And so, I call us a classroom. People call it a classroom. I call it a family. And that's how I present it to the kids. We're a family in here. I probably see you as much as your family does. Sometimes even more. Exactly. Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch,
Lilo and Stitch. Where's Lilo and you? You crack me up, China.
So my next question was, why elementary school?
I feel like maybe I made the most difference here. That I could reach my kids here. My degree, I have a single subject in math, so I could have taught through high school if I chose to. I got a double degree back when, 100 years ago because there wasn't any teaching jobs. So I had to make myself more versatile, where if I couldn't get into elementary, then junior high, high school, wherever, even JC. I thought about Chafee for a little bit.
Really?
Math, yeah. But
you never would have seen me. I've taken one math class.
And you were done?
Yep.
It's because
I finished it
darn
in high
good
school.
math teachers too. It's like
Yeah.
they don't know how to come across and
Yeah.
teach it, and I feel like that's part of the problem. So I don't know. I just feel like elementary school. I could make my largest difference here where it was earlier in enough in their years
Mhm.
that they could take that. They're not set in their ways. You can still make some changes.
Yeah.
You can still form them a little bit. Give advice, give opinions, and they still grow every year. But in my mind, I got it when I was in third grade at Sister Regina.
Mhm.
It was elementary. My junior high school years, it was like fast forward.
Yeah, I can't remember much of junior high.
Yeah, I wanted to
Yeah.
get out to get to college. And then when I got to the university, it was more like, oh,
Hmm.
I want to get into my job. I want to
Mhm.
do what I was supposed to do.
Mhm.
So, and I never wavered. I don't know why.
Really?
Forever. Yeah. There was two things I was going to be when I grew up,
Mm.
China. Do you know what the first one was?
I don't think so.
I was going to be a mechanic.
I did know that.
You did?
Because of your car.
Yes.
Yeah.
I only drive old cars.
Mhm.
And my dad owned a body and fender company when we
I
lived
do
in
remember.
Hawaii. So I thought I was out there as soon as I got home from school, put on the old clothes and got out there. So I did it every day. Changed my first engine when I was 13. Like, I loved it. I wasn't a girly girl at all. Like, I only do this because I got to be presentable for the kids and for the parents and for meetings. But I'm the wash and wear, put on a t-shirt and some shorts. Like, that's truly me. So I thought I'd be a mechanic. And then as I grew up, we moved to California. My dad closed his shop back home. And then I don't know what changed my mind one day. And I thought, you know what? I think I really want to teach. I want to do that. So before actually getting into the universities and stuff, I followed a teacher up at Hermosa.
Oh, okay.
Mrs. Gardner. She taught second grade.
Did she?
She did.
I had her. She was my math teacher.
Here?
Honors.
Second grade?
Honors math. Yeah.
Yeah, she
Or
did move
advanced
here.
math or something. Yeah.
Before I wanted to go through all the school, like I was one of those, I'm not going to waste my time.
She had red hair.
Yes, and it was like shoulder length.
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought I'm going to go to Hermosa because I lived right over there. I'm like, I'm just going to walk in. I'm going to ask them, set me up with a good teacher.
Mhm.
Like I wanted one that I could really get something out of it and learn and know that she loved her job and it wasn't just a job to her. Like it meant something. So I went up there and the principal was like, what do you want? And I'm like, can you put me, in a classroom I want to observe? And they were like, well, what college are you at? What university? They want your paperwork.
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't have paperwork. What do you mean paperwork? They're like, don't you have like observations, signatures I'm supposed to sign? No, no.
Just want to do it.
I want to see if this is for me. Like, is it really? So I followed her everywhere and I just loved her style. I love how she had rules for the kids, expectations for the kids. Yet she was kind and gentle. Like, you didn't have to be an ogre to get your job done. And so once I saw her, I think for like a whole year and a half, whenever I had time, because I was working full time, I thought, oh, I'll just pop in. And she was very easy with the schedule. Come whenever. Then I decided, yeah, this is what I want. And then it guaranteed, like in my mind, it was like, yeah, this is really what I want. And then signed up, and here I am.
Wow. I think this was the classroom where I approached my mom with the idea of being a teacher because it was always nursing. I'm Filipino. That's the family business.
Doesn't have to be.
I have 7 cousins who are nurses, and I've written so many papers on why it has become such a cultural thing, but I knew I didn't want that. Like my parents knew that I was gonna fight it, and then my first little approach was, what if I become a teacher? So when people started asking me like what I wanted to do, I started saying teacher and just like testing it out. And they're like, okay, well you're not gonna make any money, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, cool. I still want to do it.
For that, right?
I was like, I still want to do it, so that's really fun.
Or it's not for the schedule.
Yeah, I was like, I get the summer off. Like what?
Right.
What do you want from me? I actually wrote about you in a lot of transfer applications.
Oh gosh.
And it was because it was a lot of questions about me, and like I had to be very I had to look inward a lot during like last I had to reflect a lot. Last month I had to reflect so much, and it was I applied to 16 schools. It was
16.
I was so mean to all my friends. I was so like mean to everyone around me because I'm like I hate myself. I'm like self-reflecting too much. But
Oh,
I wrote
that's
about
funny.
I wrote about my experiences as a leader. And I was like,
Oh.
this was where it started. And I took it so seriously. And that's when I knew I was like, okay, so this is a realm where I feel pretty comfortable
Mhm.
in doing what I'm doing. And it was always about trusting what my gut was telling me and just following it, even if like people didn't understand where I was going, like going with whatever I was doing. But I wrote about, I was like, Mrs. Miller's class. You're in a lot of my
Oh my
transfer
goodness.
applications, and his name dropped in a lot of them. And and
Oh boy.
yeah, it was like, what do you do outside of school? I'm like, I don't know, like leadership, I guess.
Oh.
And you know that, like, the leadership from here, like, bled into high school, where you saw me do,
You did
like,
a lot.
surprising you. I did a lot.
You did so
I did a
much,
lot.
China, and I was surprised every time I attended something and I was not told anything. I'm just sitting there in the audience, and
Yeah.
here comes China running the show. I'm like, just like when I went to Chafee. I
Yeah.
thought I was going to
I
hear
was
you
like,
sing,
Mom, don't tell her.
and your mom doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
She goes, "Are you
Yeah.
going to show up?" "Yes, of course I am. 2
Mhm.
tickets, just
Mhm.
And then I get there and I'm like, she goes, "Wait, she's in charge of this?"
Yeah.
Like and I don't know why it shouldn't shock me.
I never tell anyone.
No,
Yeah.
and I'm not surprised, honestly, because I see you here. This
Yeah.
is what I see for you, but I think it's because I just see you as my China.
Yeah.
You're my little China, and I
Yeah.
see you as my fourth grade student, all grown up,
Mm.
and taking every experience you've had from here till now, and making it you. And
Mm.
that's what's the best thing about it. I think that's why I picked this grade, honestly, because it's low
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. Do you still buy the kids like supplies?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So the school gives us some basic things, pencils,
Mhm.
either color pencils or crayons. Um, I still buy everything else because I want them to have like a special black flair. I want them to have
Mhm.
the white erasers that don't leave smudge marks. So there's certain things that I feel if it's in their toolbox, it makes their job easier.
Mhm.
And as adults, when we need something to make our job easier, we go pick it up
Mhm.
because it just makes my job easier.
Mhm.
So I supply my kids with like the containers or the pouches. They don't give you any of that. I
Mhm.
fill it out. And the first day of school when you get that,
Mhm.
like my
I was
kids
so
are so,
excited. I
yeah.
was so excited. I
It's
still
not just
have
a
some of
pencil.
the
You have the
containers. Oh
containers.
yeah.
Oh, China, you
Oh yeah.
saved everything,
Oh
my
yeah.
friend.
This is my favorite class.
Oh my gosh. Jesus.
I save everything from
Oh
school.
my gosh.
Like,
Yeah.
I have all of my notebooks. I think the only things I don't keep are like the classes that I didn't enjoy. I'm like, I'm gonna have to take this again.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so why bother?
yeah.
Yeah, get rid of
Yeah.
that
I'm
one.
gonna have to take these notes again
Start
anyways.
fresh.
Yeah.
Start fresh. Yeah. No, I do buy a lot of things, but the school does supply some of it. I just feel like, they need other things like our math notebooks. I need the ones with the graph paper in
Mhm.
it because
Mhm.
they can keep the numbers straight.
Mhm.
I don't want wide rule. My kids have to get used to writing on college
College
rule.
rule.
So
Yeah.
I provide that
That's
because
where it
they give them
started for
wide.
me, like the graph paper and the college rule.
Yeah.
I mean, I take notes on this now, but I have a notebook with the graph
We got to
and then
write some things.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then well, now I also have like the music staff.
Yes.
But I bring that up because
Oh gosh. What
um
is China pulling out?
this is a paperclip that came in one of
Mm,
those um little
boxes.
containers, and I've had it since fourth grade, and I've completely it doesn't
It
function
came
like a
straight.
no, it doesn't function like a paperclip anymore. But I used to like fiddle with it when I was anxious,
It's a
and
fidget now.
yes, and I've had it, and I've never taken it out of any pencil case I've ever had because it's always my good luck charm on how my
Stop
grades are
it.
gonna go for the semester,
Oh my
for the year.
gosh.
So I've had this
Oh,
at junior high, high school, University of Redlands. When I was there for a month, I had this.
it's traveled.
It's traveled. It has traveled. This came to London with me because I had homework.
It went to London?
I had homework to do. I had homework to do while I was in London, so I was like, you know what? Because it comes in my
China.
pencil cases.
Oh my gosh.
Any pencil case, I don't know why
I
I've
don't
kept
even
it. It
know
was
what
just
to say about that. I
it was
don't
just
even know what. No, I haven't.
it was a fidget toy for so long, and then I'm like, oh, well, I got this from Mrs. Miller.
It's special.
It's special. Look at it.
It's
Doesn't
a
it look
special
special?
paper clip.
Yeah.
You know what?
Just
Items is
fidget.
what we put into them,
Yeah.
right? It's our sentimental value
Yeah.
toward that
And
item.
I'm extremely sentimental.
No
And
one would understand it but
yeah.
you.
yeah,
And
I
now
don't.
I do.
No one knows that I have this. Not
And
even
you're
my mom.
sharing the what?
And it's just been in here, or not in this particular one, because I've changed pencil cases throughout the years.
But you just move it
I
to
move
the
it.
next thing.
I move it.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
The value
12
you
years
put
old.
on that.
So it's my lucky charm. It's
Oh
how I
my
get straight
gosh.
A's. Because that
Wow.
started here, in this class, anyways.
You got straight A's because you work hard.
That's true.
You work hard, you study hard, you put in the time and effort. That's
Yeah.
why you got straight A's and you're smart. It's what you put in it. You know,
Yeah.
you can give all the kids the same access to things.
Yeah.
You can teach them in their, their special way. But it's the effort they bring to the table.
Yeah,
And
no,
that's
yeah.
how it's different for you.
But
Oh
yeah.
my gosh,
I-
China.
it's so
A
stupid.
paper
Look at-
clip.
Yeah.
It's not even silver anymore.
No, it's so dirty.
You've
It's so
like
gross.
the oils on your hand has stripped that shiny coating off of it.
Yeah.
But this is something. Oh my.
I became a very organized student because of this class.
Accordion folder? Oh my god.
So organized. Yeah, like the system that I used in 4th grade is still the system I use today. That's crazy.
It's so nice to hear that because I tell my
Yeah.
kids, I promise you, this is
Yeah.
for naught. You're going to take it with you.
I still have like the color-coded folders that the colors are still the same as the ones that I think
You
we
already
used
said
in
it.
this
Why
class.
change it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Math is always going to be
I mean,
math.
you even look in their desk.
Yeah, I'm looking at them now. I'm like, yeah.
They know
I
where to
still do
put their
that.
workbooks and they put them in the order we use them and they grab them in a whole set. And it's funny because I take a picture of my desk to show them and they try their best to mirror it. There are a few kids who it's difficult for them and then their buddy does. Like this kid has a hard time, so they try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not going to get it for 100%.
I think
But
I used
it's
to.
okay.
We used to have like whiteboards in ours.
We did have whiteboards.
And I used to leave little messages for you.
Oh, I never saw that.
Really? Someone saw them once and was like,
I
"Oh,
used
that's
to
so
do
sweet."
the journals and read those.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
when I read them.
Or maybe
yeah.
it was for Mrs. Little that I left because I was like, "Hello, have a good
Oh.
weekend."
She would have loved to see you today.
I did see her, but I didn't say hello because I didn't know if she would still remember.
I bet you she would.
I mean, she follows me on Facebook, so I don't know why.
She
I
would
thought-
totally
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
You know, I go here and there and I hear Mrs. Miller or Miss He, and you turn around and you just pray you remember that little cherub. You're like, and
Yeah.
I'm a last name person lately.
Mm.
So, like, I know yours, but for a lot of people, I just remember, like, the last name. I don't know why it
You
is.
remember
but
the last?
Yes. That
Yeah.
was a tough one.
The mom was tough, too. I remember from high school just the mom being.
Still?
The mom was a
Even
proctor.
in high school?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She was a proctor at high school?
No. Like
Here.
band mom became a
Yeah.
band mom.
Oh,
But the
band mom.
she was a proctor here.
You know what? I saw her at your band practice. So when we didn't see eye to eye on anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fight for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Literally everything. But then I remember going to your Los Osos. That's the one where you didn't go to your little group. You came to me. She saw me there, and her husband was there too, and they kind of glared at me. They were wondering who I was there for because they had no clue. You should have seen the daggers I got when you came up and hugged me.
Really?
But you know what?
Built different.
That's right.
There were
Because
a
this is how
lot
it
of
is.
students who were like, "Is Mrs. Miller here for you?" And I was like, "Yeah." Did you ask her to come? No. So of course she's here for me. I asked her. Yeah.
And I was happy to go. I enjoy them all, even outside at the gardens. Remember?
Oh my god! I still have that picture.
I have all the videos. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
to like close it off, I wanted to show you a picture that I found on my phone still.
goodness.
But this was after promotion.
Sixth grade.
I'll put it up on the
here.
screen. Yeah, after promotion, I
We
came
can't
up.
even see you.
You guys were watching a movie,
and
and
you
I
said
knocked.
bye to me.
and because promotion ended before school ended.
Yeah.
So
You came back to say.
yeah, I remember I got the presidential's honor roll,
Oh, so you had
that
to
day.
get from 4th grade to 6th grade.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I didn't think I would get it because I got a few B's in 6th grade.
So it's not just necessarily on the grade, but it's the whole person. You know what I mean?
And I was the last one
Yeah.
called up. So it was a complete surprise, and people had to be like, China, it was you. I was like, what?
So what if your parent wasn't here for that? Because now we notify them ahead of time.
Oh, they didn't know, because then they were like, oh crap, now we have to buy her a phone.
That's
Because that was the bet. Like, yeah.
Oh my God, that brings back memories. Look at how long ago that was, China.
I had to bring up the brightness. Your classroom looks very different. I mean,
you know why?
the
Because it was
borders,
all torn down.
the borders are still up on the.
Oh yeah, girl, I haven't changed much.
Yeah.
You know what it is to me, the classroom background doesn't matter. It's their stuff that matters.
Yeah.
So I don't care what the background is. I don't care what the border is. The kids are proud of their stuff, so that's what you should be highlighting, not my stuff.
I remember there used to be things up there.
Yes, so I covered them because we start testing on Monday, and I can't show anything that has something that could help them on a test.
I used to be so bad at those state
I
testings.
love that picture though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have one for graduation. I'll have to text me the time.
I will.
Okay.
I will. But yeah, I wanted to show you that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
We look like we were sad. Like it was the last time we were ever going to see each other, I think.
Yeah, I think you whispered something like I'm so proud of you or something. Yeah.
I am still today. You know when that one kid gets to you, you just know it. You're my kid.
Yeah.
You're my kid.
Yeah.
It's funny. I remember talking to a teacher, and they would tell me, "Oh, that China, you just wait till she's grown up. You just wait." It was a fourth grade teacher. It was actually Linda Nicholson, Mrs. Nicholson. She would say
that was the class I was terrified of having.
Oh, she was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Everyone
said that she was really strict. That was who was the strict.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Nicholson or Chides. Chides was super easy.
Yeah. Oh, that's the name. Yes.
Nicholson was in the middle, and then there was Miller.
Yeah.
People cried when they saw my name on their roster.
Really?
Oh yeah, they asked for changes immediately.
I think my mom was like really excited.
Oh,
because I think
mom's
she's
from a different breed.
Yeah, and she knew that I liked structure.
Most people want to change. There's a good handful, and I hold the door open because I'm not gonna fight that.
Yeah.
And you know how sometimes you get who you get for the right reason. I feel like when you always pick your child's teacher, that's not the best for them. Sometimes they gotta hear the screamer. Sometimes they gotta.
Even now, like choosing a teacher, I don't really choose it off of professors, like rate my professor or something like that. I just let it happen. If I go off of rate my professors, all of the professors that wrote me letters of recommendations,
that you loved
I
and enjoyed,
never would have had.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be your own judge.
Yeah.
You got to decide for yourself. Yeah. But no, she would say, "Oh, that China, just wait till she's grown up." I said, "I know. She's gonna go places." You know, you just know those kids. Wow. You were one of those kids. You really were. My China.
I thought I would wear something that I would wear in fourth grade. I always dressed like this.
Sports.
I was gonna wear shorts, but
it's a little cold.
It was cold.
Yeah, it's a little cold. Yeah. It's funny because as years go by, I get more relaxed. It's jeans every day now.
Oh.
No slacks. I used to wear high heels, no high heels.
You did?
Yeah. Mrs. Chides and I, they would call us clickers. Because of the click, click, click.
Wasn't
click,
Miss Chides one of the people in the car that picked
Her
me up?
and Nicholson.
Was it Nicholson or was it
we
Mr.
all
Gutierrez?
went to lunch. Oh, was it Ted?
I think it was Mr. Guerrero.
He's at junior high now.
Oh,
he was driving.
Yeah, he came to Ross when I was working
oh
there.
Oh my gosh,
and I was like,
because he lives out there.
I was literally like,
yes.
"Hi, Mr. Guerrero." And he was like,
"Did he remember?"
He was like, "Hi, China."
He remembered.
And I was like, "This is weird."
Oh my God! Yes, he was driving, and I remember we saw you guys walking around the street, corner.
I was running.
And I was like, "Where are you going? Something wrong?" Like I thought somebody was chasing.
Yeah, because we got out of school early, and my brothers and I were still in high school together.
Rushing home,
and we had a bet on who would get home.
$20,
first.
right?
$20. I won.
I was like, "Get in the car."
Oh yeah. And I posted it on Instagram. I was like, "You guys would never guess who just gave me a ride home."
I told Ted, "Pick her up." And he was like, "Could we get in trouble for this?" No, her mom's okay with that. Pick her up. Because, you know, we're technically not supposed to have our students or previous students in our car. I'm like, we're friends.
My mom was so excited. I was like, "Mom, guess what happened today?"
I remember that.
I won
it's
$20.
Funny how we remember the same stories. Oh, my God.
I was literally like, I'm going to
And
I'm
Ted
gonna-
loved it. He was like, "Oh my!" I remember we
Yeah.
were riding in your apartment. And you know how it's like all like this. I'm like, "Watch the ball, watch the chopper." And then I think we were a little bit late for lunch because we barely make it normally.
Uh-huh.
Who cares? The park just will watch the kids. Just go. We loved it.
Yeah, that was like so out of the blue too, because I was ready
It was
to
$20
sprint
on the
home.
line.
Yeah, I was ready to sprint home, but
Now we got you.
yeah, I was in pajamas because it was
Pajama
like
day?
no, it was just finals.
Oh,
Yeah,
finals. Get
finals.
comfortable.
Yeah,
What did your brother say
I didn't tell them until weeks after.
after you collected your
After I
$20?
collected
Yeah,
my
because they wouldn't
yeah.
have paid you. They would have been considered cheating.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
But
no.
I got that $20.
Listen, it's not cheating. It's just working smarter.
Resourceful.
Being
It's
smart.
not my fault. My fourth grade teacher saw me on the
Get in the
street.
car. I'll take you home.
It's a good thing I still
Oh.
look the same from what I like.
I
I had a
recognize you.
ponytail and yeah.
You still look the same, China.
I have a few more tattoos now.
I know, but I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I mean, I always wear long sleeves, so no one ever knows I have tattoos until summer
I think
hits.
I saw the first one at one of your performances because you had a black dress and it was kind of short.
Mhm.
It was a short sleeve, or it was a vest.
It was
maybe.
it was a vest.
It was a vest,
It was
so I could see it.
this
But
here.
no,
Yeah. I never thought I would, but you know that band director who passed, that was my first tattoo.
okay.
And then, yeah, just from there, I have my mom has 2 tattoos now. She has a tattoo of our dog's face.
I would
Which
have
is a-
gotten one when I lost my puppy,
Yeah.
but my husband has a few. All of the kids, the step kids, all have them. You know, for the right reason. It's okay.
My mom fell asleep during
Oh.
hers because her pain tolerance is insane.
It's high.
Yeah.
So she
I
just
mean,
relaxed.
she says that giving birth to me was easy.
Most people would be like epidural,
Mhm.
knock me out. Yeah.
I mean, I think she had it, but like 8 centimeters. She's like, yeah, it doesn't feel like anything yet.
So she's got the tolerance.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'll get that from her because, geez, I don't.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah.
I think I do. Yeah.
Well, what a great way to end it with, on epidurals.
I know. Drugs. That's terrible.
In a classroom, this is our background.
Oh, China. I enjoyed this.
Yeah. Well,
This was
thank you
fun.
thank you for doing it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for coming back to your stomping
course.
grounds
Of course.
and reminiscing with me.
yeah, I mean, look at that.
Look at that.
Made my mark.
You got to put your diagram on your camera.
Yeah, I mean, I have the picture. I'll put it up
Yeah.
on the edit.
It's like you just did it. It's like you were here yesterday.
I remember that.
But I love this, China. This was
Yeah.
great.
Thank you for
I'll
saying
see you
yes.
soon. I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon.
I missed you.
I missed you too. I missed this classroom. I missed 4th grade.
I have to invite you to my retirement party whenever that
Heck
happens.
yeah. I'll fly out.